Okay, so today we're diving into something a little different.
Oh.
Yeah, it's corporate presentations.
Interesting.
Not the most exciting thing in the world, right? But this one,
Yeah.
for a Slovenian company called Tinex, really got me thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a window into their company culture, who they are, what they value.
I see.
Plus, I got to brush up on my Slovenian a little bit.
Always a plus.
Yeah. So they get right to it. Right away, they say Tinex, a reliable partner for every industry.
A bold statement.
Right. And they're all about supplying high-quality parts, bearings, seals, all that good stuff for different industries across Slovenia and Southeast Europe.
So they're covering a lot of ground.
Exactly. But here's what I found interesting. They don't just say Tinex eyes, they say Tinex offers.
Interesting distinction.
Right. Like
Yeah.
they're more focused on being a partner and providing solutions, not just selling stuff.
It's a subtle but important difference for sure.
And they want to be a leader, not just in their region, but wider, they say.
Yeah. So they have global ambitions.
Oh, yeah. Thinking big picture.
I like that.
And their company timeline really highlights that. It's like they took their history and made it visual, easy to digest.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, as they say.
Right. And they emphasize their 6 core values: quality, integrity, flexibility, professionalism, innovation, and fairness.
A solid foundation.
Yeah, and you can see how those values play out in their milestones. They're partnering with big names like Schaeffler and Freudenberg.
Those are some heavy hitters in the industry.
Exactly, which says a lot about Tinex's commitment to quality.
Absolutely.
And then there's their decision to open a linear center.
What's that?
It's a facility dedicated to linear motion technology, a very specific niche.
So they're not afraid to specialize.
Not at all. It shows they're really trying to be a one-stop shop for their customer.
Makes sense.
Oh, and I almost forgot, they're expanding into actually manufacturing seals now. They started with their own seals and then moved into flat seals, too.
Wow, so they're really taking control of their supply chains.
Yeah, it seems like they're all about having more control over their production process.
Smart move. It gives them more flexibility and control over quality.
Exactly. And it all ties back to that core value of theirs, flexibility.
They're not just reacting to the market, they're anticipating it.
Exactly. It's like they're building their own little empire of efficiency.
Right. And when you look at the numbers, it's clear that it's working.
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me.
All right, so they have over 60,000 products in stock.
That's a lot of stuff.
It is. And it's valued at 12.5 million euros.
Okay, now we're talking.
Exactly. They're clearly sending a message to their customers. We have what you need when you need it.
No waiting around for months on end.
Exactly. And with over 3,000 industry clients, they're clearly reaching a wide audience.
They're everywhere.
Pretty much. And get this, a turnover of 26.7 million euros in 2023.
Wow. Okay, they're doing something right.
Right. And they did all that with a team of just 73 employees.
That's it. Talk about efficiency.
No kidding. It's really impressive what they've managed to achieve with a relatively small team.
Okay, so we've talked about all the amazing things Tinex is doing, but here's where it gets really interesting for me. They're not just some independent company. They're actually part of a much larger organization.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot to mention
Axel Johnson International, right?
That's the one. And it's a game changer.
So tell me more about this Axel Johnson International. What are they all about?
So picture this. Over 300 companies, 25,000 employees, and a turnover of more than 11 billion euros.
Okay, now those are some serious numbers.
It's huge. But it's not just about size. It's about their approach.
Oh, in what way?
Well, they have this long-term business model.
Okay, I like the sound of that already.
Right. They're not just focused on short-term profits. They're thinking about sustainability, about tackling societal challenges.
It's like they're playing the long game, making moves that will benefit them for years to come.
Exactly. They're in it for the long haul. And that makes a big difference, I think.
Absolutely. So how does Tinex fit into all of this?
Well, for starters, it gives them incredible resources and support. Imagine having access to the knowledge and experience of over 300 other companies.
Yeah, that's invaluable.
Right. It's like having a massive brain trust at your disposal.
And probably a pretty healthy bank account, too.
I'm sure that doesn't hurt either. But it's more than just money. It's about shared values. Axel Johnson International is really committed to sustainability and ethical business practices.
Which is huge these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Consumers really care about that kind of stuff now, and it reflects well on Tinex.
It's like a stamp of approval.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
tells customers, this is a company you can trust.
It's almost like they have this safety net, a strong foundation to build on.
Exactly. And it allows them to be more adventurous, to take risks that they might not otherwise consider.
Because they have that support system to fall back on.
Right. They know they're not in it alone. And that brings us back to Tinex's emphasis on innovation. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk.
Right, like with their expansion into seal manufacturing. That's a bold move.
Absolutely. They're not content with just distributing products. They want to be at the forefront of their industry.
And that's the key, isn't it? In today's world, you can't just sit back and wait for things to happen.
Exactly. You have to be proactive, adaptable, always looking for the next opportunity.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Tinex's history, their values, their growth strategy, their impressive numbers.
And their connection to Axel Johnson International.
Right, which is a whole other story in itself. But for me, what really stands out is this idea of balance. They've managed to find the sweet spot between tradition and innovation.
I agree. They're not afraid to embrace new technologies and ideas, but they're also not abandoning their roots.
Exactly. They're not just chasing the latest trends, they're building something sustainable, something with staying power.
And that's what makes them so interesting, I think. They're a company to watch.
Absolutely. So to wrap things up, I think it's safe to say that we've learned a lot from this deep dive into Tinex.
Even though it all started with a corporate presentation.
Right? Who knew we could find so much intrigue in a document like that?
It just goes to show that you never know where you'll find a good story.
And that sometimes the most unexpected sources can reveal the most fascinating insights.
Well said. Until next time, keep exploring and keep asking questions.
Because you never know what you might uncover.